live. How you doing, Fred?
Nice. Not too bad, man. How you doing?
Good, good. So we're doing a little impromptu fireside chat here on a Friday, almost Saturday,
Yeah.
just for a little bit, to kind of
Yeah.
test out a few things, but also make sure that we have a little chat here. So how are you?
I'm good. Busy at work, freaking out because I can't find a job, but
Hmm.
laughing life away and got insomnia. I've had insomnia for the past 6 months. I'm gonna
Hmm.
start a fight club soon if this keeps up.
Nice, nice. Looking forward to
Here,
it.
someone on the news just slapped a priest in the face to get him to fight. That was
Nice.
um,
Very good, very
but
good.
yeah. Just what about you, man? I know you're going to be volunteering at a hospital.
Yeah, I volunteer. I haven't done it yet, but tomorrow will be the first day I'm volunteering at this local hospital here in Toronto area. Just one of my kids when he was born was in a NICU, and so I want to make sure that we kind of my wife and I like to give back to the hospital whatever we can. So anyways, so yeah, that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Yeah, yeah, very good.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I am. I don't know. Have you seen the new Faith Goldy video that she didn't
Toronto
want
area.
anybody to see?
Just one of my kids when
Yeah,
he was born. Actually, I have seen it, and it's interesting. Was in a NICU. It's interesting. So, anyways, yeah. So I just figured, hey, let's go from there. But anyways, what did you think of it? Do you? I think you're planning to do a video on it on your channel. I think she just posted it. I think it was just posted tonight, and Faith took it down pretty much as soon as it went up. It went back down, so it wasn't up for very long.
I think the poor girl's losing her mind. She's obviously, I don't know. It just seems to me she seems. I've seen what mental degradation happens to a girl. Like I've been there.
Mm.
When I was in university, there was a girl I was totally in love with, and I just year after year, every time I went back and I get in touch with her, she just kept getting worse and worse till one day she ran on the street and buck naked, screaming, yelling and screaming. She lost a lot of weight. She became like a skeleton.
Jeez.
And
You drove her to that? What did you do to the poor girl? Jeez.
I didn't do fuck. Come on. No. So the story goes, she's like got a Croatian background, and I've dated a lot. I've been I was dogging around like crazy, but when I really liked a girl, I was a complete gentleman, and I was always kind of apprehensive to approach. Weird as that sounds.
Okay.
So I always hung out with her. It was like my second year, and we got in touch there. We just met at a one of the pubs on the university campus, and we talked and stuff. We kind of got along, and we kept getting in touch with each other. She was Croatian, so right. I was enamored by her. Like her looks, her intelligence, just everything. I really liked her a lot, but I just didn't have the nerve to tell her. Right.
Stan in the chat says, "So you drove her crazy? Drove her cray cray?"
Cray. No, and I wanted to tell her, but I didn't know how she felt about me, right? And I didn't want to ruin the relationship.
Yeah.
So I just kind of kept my distance. She reached out to me a few times, but when I came back the following year and we met up again, she was telling me things that she was being stalked by a guy, getting phone calls. Like we went out for drinks once, and she's like looking behind her shoulders constantly. Like, he's around. And I'm like, what's going on? Right. So I said, have you tried reporting it to the university campus police or just the police in general, like your parents? She's like, oh no, he tells me he's going to stalk me at home and shit. So, we met a couple of more times, during that year, and then I had to come back home, and I came back for my following year. We met up again, and that year, like, I got to meet her parents the year before, just like a couple of times, and big family home, and they wanted to rent out to some students because it was a huge project that they were doing.
Yeah.
And they had like 6-7 bedrooms, so they wanted to rent to a few students. So I'm like, okay, I'll rent from you guys. That was a big fucking mistake. And
what, too close for comfort? You're just like, there wasn't enough distance or just too much proximity with them?
This family was so fucked up.
Nice.
Like, I mean, everyone in this family was fucked up.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like, I think that's what drove her mad. So just to give you the lay of the land. So when I rented the room, right, it wasn't finished. Like, they were still renovating.
Oh no.
So the room I was in didn't have anything on the floor. It just had the press board. There was fresh drywall, but nothing was taped. It was just like, okay. So I set up my mattress and everything, my little TV.
One question from Stan: Isn't Yaniv a Slavic name? Is that does she have a background?
It's a Jewish name.
Oh, Jewish name. Oh, okay, interesting. All right, okay, go on.
And a fucking Slav would just dropkick that faggot. Anyway, so, but I don't know. It could be a relation to the family, but maybe. So on my first night, like when I met her and she took me into her room and we started talking. I was like, fuck, she's lost a lot of weight. Like, really a lot of weight. And, like I told you, each year it got progressively worse. And I felt sad about that because I really dearly liked this girl, like, a lot. And she starts going through her record albums and she's like, you see, he's watching me here. I go, okay, that's it. Like, I know she's psychotic at this level. Right. Now, there was a couple of weird things because, I had access to the home and I was able to, put my stuff in the fridge because I was renting the room and I could study on the table. So I would go downstairs, grab a late Kraft macaroni and dinner, throw some hot dogs in there. And I heard her, like, someone called and I just accidentally picked up and I was like, oh shit. And then I heard this guy on the other end of the line, like, so there must have been something going on. I just don't know what. I reported it to the parents. The third night I was sleeping. Now, I had no locks on my doors. There wasn't even a doorknob. He was still in the process of renovating. He shouldn't have been renting out, but whatever. He was really cheap. So one night I hear like a crazy argument. It's like around 11:30. I'm sleeping, right? Because I got some early courses. And she bursts in and jumps into my bed fully naked. I'm like, and she's like, I'm scared. And I'm thinking, this is okay, but what the fuck? And I'm like, you gotta go, man. Like, this is not right. And so her mom pops in, and I'm like, it's not what you think. Like, and like, her mom understands, right? Because obviously there's some really crazy shit going on in the house. And they start arguing with each other. And I'm just kind of like, I literally morphed into the fucking wall because I'm trying to like I have a small mattress and I'm trying to cover her, right? She's completely naked, and I'm like going against the wall. And she's like, fuck off, mom. Fuck you, you fucking bitch. Blah, blah, blah. and her mom's yelling at her. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, just get me out of here. But I the next morning, I call my dad. Dad, I gotta find another place. If you can set me up with some cash, I'll find a hotel for a couple of days. Because at that time, you know how it is with the university, right? You go there a month prior, you find a rental, and you're good, right?
Mm-hmm.
During the school year, you're fucked. You can't find anything.
Right. Yeah, true.
So, you know, the father thought the father saw he was upset. He called my father and he was like explaining what happened and the issues this girl's been having. And he's like, oh, I'll lower the rent. I'm sorry, because it's kind of like this Croatian thing. And my dad's like, listen, they've talked to the girl and they're gonna put door locks on your door and everything. I'm like, okay. I didn't feel comfortable about it, but I came back. So I found out that they have an older daughter who doesn't live there, by the way, but is a lesbian. So, okay, the insanity starts to, really become clear in this household. And she's like really butchy. She's like, "Yeah, this is how you do it." I'm like, and I'm kind of like, "Hey, you got a new subscriber, I think, Santa Guerra."
Yeah, and actually, Santa Guerra, you're more of a Spanish speaker than me, so let me just pop that comment up there. He was asking where AJ was and how would you translate that? My Google Translate says "until the plum passes," which I'm sure means a lot more natively than it does to me.
That's gone over my head, but okay. So yeah. I found out that she's a lesbian.
Oh,
and real butch, right? So that must be hard on a Croatian family who are extremely traditional and conservative.
Right. And
they have a young son. And I think this son was about 10, something like that. I'd spent some time. I'd like to show him some comic books, trying to get him into comic books and shit. Later, I find out he's a kleptomaniac.
Nice.
Please come bring him home. He was stealing from a local store or something. So, and it's progressive. Like, it just keeps getting worse. He went from stealing comic books to stealing all kinds of shit, cigarettes. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, oh my God. And then I later find out that the father is an alcoholic. He's constantly drunk. On that homemade Schlevo shit, right?
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ. And he's like, come drink with me. Drink. No, I'm fine. I'm all right. I think I'm just gonna go to my room. So I think it was a month after, I started really understanding the nuttiness of this family.
Wow.
She became completely insane and ran out on the street, completely buck naked, screaming at the top of her head, all 60 pounds of her. She looked like she's been in the concentration camp or something like that, right? And, it was just gut wrenching for me. I had to leave at that point, but I stayed an extra month. And, they do pick you up, like in the crazy house, right? They came, they were running after her on the street. It was like Benny Hill. And they cut up to her and they did this a quick grab, put the jacket on her, gone. And then I didn't see her for a month. And then she came back. It seemed the household was a little bit even worse. And then she came back and she looked better. She looked like she put a little bit of weight on. But she was drooling all the time. The meds that she was on made her numb. She was able to communicate properly. She wasn't all over the place. And she said she met her love of her life at the loony bin. And I was like, oh, fuck. And, they're both diagnosed with schizophrenia. match fucking made in heaven.
The hits keep coming, man. Jeez.
Um, but yeah, it was kind of gut wrenching, and I left. Right? I don't know. I hope she's okay. I hope the family's fucking worked out their issues. But
yeah,
good God, that was an experience. That was probably the worst experience in my university days.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty messed up.
Yeah.
And
the worst experience in my university is nowhere close to to that. Like, I mean, I remember my first year I had a situation, but it was nowhere close to that insanity. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So when I'm watching Faith Goldy in the last video that she deleted, I kind of see cues, right, of someone going down that rabbit hole.
Right.
Like she just seems a little bit more emaciated than she used to be. The thick collagen, she's using collagen in her lips, right? But she just also seems a little bit off.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know if that has to do with her internet fame. She's been bleeding subs. Now, I don't know if this is YouTube, right? Because
yeah, you never know.
Like, even for my channel, like you had a monumentous slide up, and I think you're still growing, but yeah. I'm stuck in that bullshit zone of 209, 211, 209, 211. And, I think I'm pretty funny. I definitely, people think I'm funny on a lot of the Discord channels. But
have you been posting much though? I mean, you've been kind of lately. You haven't been able to do a lot. 'Cause I know you've been busy at work. It's not like when you were kind of cranking them out like a few months ago.
Yeah, I was doing more static video than live. Right. So I think Derek and I were going back and forth on Twitter, and I was saying, if you want to jump on the stream, and he's like, he's going to Ottawa. He's fairly busy. I like the way he does his static videos. He does some really great editing, and I wanted to ask him about it. Like, what do you use?
Right.
But he had questions for me on my slobs and how I set that up and shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Yeah.
There you go. That's what you guys can have a stream conversation about is, how do I setting up your Streamlabs versus what Rants does as well.
Yeah, he's invited me over his ranch, but I'm a little bit apprehensive because the guy's like, right? "Yeah, come to my ranch. We'll shoot a few things." I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I don't know you. You invited me to come over and we'll shoot a few things.
Like, okay, buddy.
That's not fucking red flags in my mind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, nothing wrong with hey, we all have rants, but it's kind of like, YouTube familiar is different than in-person familiar, and then you have in-person familiar with firearms involved, which is like a whole nother level.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like. By the way, dude, are you still live? Because I'm not seeing the chat moving whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm still live.
Okay.
Folks in the chat, I think there's about 5 people watching right now.
Okay, cool.
Just drop us a message and make sure we know we're still live. Actually, change that to 3 people. Make sure drop us a response there. Let us know if you're still there. There we go.
Jerry's still there. Faith, Faith deleted her video. That's what I'm talking.
Yeah.
Faith deleted her Twitter.
Really? When did that happen?
Well, it's just there in the chat. Faith
deleted
her.
He didn't say when she deleted it, but
wow.
Yeah,
something's going on there. I almost feel like she's being imprisoned by that husband of hers because, like, she hasn't put him on at all. I understand the whole thing, wanting to keep your life private life.
Sure, and I mean she is getting dragged out there in public society, like we were kind of saying on our earlier test stream. It's kind of like anybody. Oh, like that video we listened to in the last TCR, that one you played with that meeting with Andrew Sheep,
Yeah,
with
for
all those
sure.
people just lapping things up there.
Yeah, and he called her out.
No, not I got his name right the first time. But anyways, and how he's like, oh no, and he specifically mentioned Faith, and they're like, no, we would not have anything to do with her or white supremacy or whatever. So it's like her name and white supremacy and hate have kind of gone hand in hand, deservedly or undeservedly. I mean, so that's just like a scarlet letter in the society right now. It's hard to come back from that, and that's got to be hard. That's got to be personally hard. But people are going to be hearing what people are saying about her without looking at her content and actually, and maybe looking at like clips, but not looking at her content and making their decisions for themselves.
Well, I think that's probably what's driving her a little kooky, because you can watch that last video. I don't know. I'm just like, I have this sixth sense about when I can read people pretty well, just based on the countenance, the movements, there's certain cues that humans do when they're nervous or they're lying. I don't know if you watched that latest video with ROTC I sent you today. They actually interviewed John McAfee, that crazy Canadian with that. He had that great antivirus company that went on bath salts and shit. Well, he's very like jittery. Like he's constantly, touching it.
He looks like he's on something at all times. But there's some people, it's like somebody who, and actually, let's give a few shout outs because some more people are jumping in. So there's Jerry, who's been chatting. We have the one who's had some comments. AJ, hey, there's AJ giving a warm welcome to us. I'll put that one up on the screen there. Notice the super warm welcome for AJ and Rev Jim Jones, T Nova. There you go. Hey, everybody. But anyways, there's some people when they've done drugs or they've been an alcoholic, and it's like there's some physical tics and mannerisms that don't go away. Like, don't go away unless they put work into making them go away. It doesn't mean that they're drunk or inebriated or anything at that time. It's just there's some parts of them that don't normalize. If you know what I mean. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. No,
I get it. Like if you watch some of like Jordan Peterson or some of these other hosts that are, they've written books, they're as calm as Hindu cows. They don't jitter about, they sit patiently, they talk clearly, coherently, but, and I don't see that in Faith. She's just, her eyes are googly eyed and I hope she's okay. And I don't want to rag on her too much. I mean, she does see she was going down this rabbit hole and stuff, and I don't like talking about the Satanists. I don't give a fuck about them. They've been around since I was a kid, and when the politicians and the Mothers Against Drunk Driving were rallying against violent video games and Satanism and heavy metal rock, and they were trying to tie all those three together. And I was into heavy metal. And it's like, fuck off. And, giving more publicity to these idiots. Remember that time when there was like the vampire craze? The stupid shitheads were actually drinking each other's blood. And I was like, yeah, that's great. Keep doing it. Fucking pass the AIDS along. So whatever. Fuck those guys. I don't want to bring any more publicity to freaks and freak shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's...
By the way, AJ is sending more of his love to you just in the chat there, but
couldn't read me.
I put it on the screen for everybody to share.
But I don't want to rag on her too much either, because she's done a lot of work. Like she really exposed Roxham Road. Like she brought that to the map, and she got people talking about immigration. So I just think she should watch her mental health more than anything else.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, she's on an island. Like right now, she's got to be just in terms of how people are talking about her. Even if she has a very good, close family and strong family unit supporting her, or close friends, just in terms of going out of that, I mean, that's tough. And I don't know. We've always questioned her funding. I mean, maybe it is what it looks like, where there isn't some massive source. Maybe maybe things are we can take them at face value, and if that's so, who knows if some of those sources are there, because I mean, as we saw a few weeks ago, I think we covered it during one of our shows, some of our supporters are getting doxxed, and so anyways, I certainly, for her mental health, certainly in her physical health, I wish her the best, and if she needs to take some time away to kind of sort things out, yeah, certainly, because she's been out there. Everybody who's speaking against or even questioning some of the things going on is just being vilified, just tarred and feathered, which is totally unfair. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, what happened to her buddy, Laura? Sorry,
Faith? No, Lauren Southern.
Lauren Southern.
She retired. She informally retired, and she's off making. She's off to make some. Well, actually, hold on. AJ.
She retired from YouTube. And
AJ put a nice description of what's going on there in the chat. I won't bother repeating that, but I will put it on the screen.
Oh shit.
I like this software. Anyways, but I mean, look, she also, I mean, yes, definitely there is criticism for her, and I mean there was some things that came out about.
I think there's worse criticism for her
behind the scenes, and how they're kind of playing both sides, yada yada. So you can say neither here nor there, but at the same time, she was out there to a certain degree as well, and I don't.
No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. She was out there doing that whole feminist thing, and I couldn't give a fuck about those twats.
And ultimately, that boardless movie was milk toast at best.
Look,
there was no conclusion at the end, and then she took the money and ran at the end. So, anyways,
yeah. No, I don't. She did a. I know people, especially those Spurgs, those right Spurgs. Oh, she made this great, beautiful, visually stunning documentary. It did fuck all.
Yeah.
And water's wet.
Yeah.
And that end piece, she tried to put a softer presence, well, this is not just about right or left or racist. It's about, people and migration and a movement. Fuck off. Stop trying to be philosophical and tell me the point. Bad or good. That's it. Don't sit on the fucking fence. Yeah. I don't like that. So.
Yep. Well, Jerry's added a few comments in here, but essentially it comes down to Lauren quit before she got exposed. That's it, right? That's what it comes down to.
But what did she really get exposed for?
There was Milo's article that talked about essentially how she was having dinner and laughing and joking with people who she was allegedly opposed to, like every politician, so to speak, where they're kvetching, not kvetching, that's the wrong thing.
Yeah, okay. She was with those two queers, and I don't give a fuck about that. And I personally, I think she's in it for the fame. Sure. But now she's built up a pretty nice portfolio. She's worked for the Rebel Media, which has a mill now subs. She's churned out a book. She's produced a documentary. So watch out for her in the future. I guarantee you there will be some lucrative job in some media like Globe and Mail, CBC, CNN,
or probably some potentially conservative-ish, conservative light group that
Fox.
She'll be a Canadian Candace Owens. But with less fire and fury.
She's a Jew. I knew it. It's that fucking schnoz.
Oy vey, the truth is coming out on my channel.
I know. I thought AJ was an Arab because he's got that Arab nose. I don't think he's French at all. I think he's French Arab.
Yeah, what Jerry's saying is what we were talking about, right? She got exposed for her funding, and I guess she quit. She quit when things got hot, and she kind of left on top. Frankly, she kind of left on top because she had got the documentary done. She released it. She did her press tour or whatever, and then she's out. So that's Lauren. That's done like dinner.
Yeah, and by the way, did you hear about what's his name on Fox News? Tucker Carlson being kind of semi-retired.
Really?
Yeah. He's been on extended vacation. I think they're going to get rid of him.
Well, he's had some run-ins lately. I mean, but here's the thing. Oh yeah. So here's the thing. It's let me see. Oh my gosh. Jeez. What I'm reading here cannot be true. Okay. That was a rumor. I just want to make sure. So I didn't know about Tucker. It may have been something that was on his decision. It might have been that he got an offer from some other organization. Maybe he'll go into politics. Maybe he needs a break. I don't know. I mean, who knows?
Oh, I think it was something that he got in trouble. That he mentioned a few things, and
maybe
Fox. Look, remember back in the Obama days, and Fox was the big joke. Right, because they sounded like a lot like CNN.
Well, they were still the opposition to Obama. So think about the people who were saying that Fox News was a joke, and it's the same people now who are saying Fox News is a joke, and it's Trump's mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Think like we go back a little bit further and think, and then when Bush was in office, Fox News was the same media was saying that Fox News was Bush's mouthpiece. So it's like the wheel is turning. Once again, like it's the same.
Jerry's saying Shapiro's going to replace Tucker. Oh boy!
My gosh.
Well, I think that's totally valid. It's totally possible that Ben Shapiro. I think that's categorically untrue. Okay. First, let me just take my Ritalin, and then we're going to adjust my Amica, and then we're gonna talk about
talking fast.
And I'm talking really
tell you that I've been schooled in the very biggest university at I did my law school. I can't even talk as fast. He's on speed.
Well, Shapiro is. I mean, all joking aside, I mean, he seems to have been a child prodigy. I mean, graduating as early as he did from various institutions, he was that young kid on campus who was literally a kid, but he was on campus at the time. So
so what?
Got something up there.
For such gifts, there's a lot of loss.
Sure.
And it could be the lack of empathy and the association with humankind. So I definitely wouldn't want a gifted child. Right? Because most of them are psychopaths, right?
Yeah. So now, one thing, just to go back to the Tucker Carlson thing, because I didn't know about this until you mentioned it. I've been buried in the under a hole of work, and I put a little quote from Jerry up there in the screen there. Nice. It's a great Shapiro quote, Jerry. But it basically how Fox News hosts, when he mentioned he was taking time off, I thought to myself, I bet you he said he was taking time off like he's taking a vacation that was probably scheduled in advance shortly after. Because I remember hearing something about some comments he was making that got a little hot for him, but I didn't actually see what they were. And so that's exactly what he did. He took another time off, just like Bill O'Reilly took a vacation, and then a few weeks later he was replaced by what's her name, Blondie, Laura Ingram Angle. And then Tucker has been there for a while. I can't remember if there's somebody there with him before. But anyways, I mean, it's kind of their MO. So we'll see if he actually gets his job back or if this is part of a negotiation and time off that's actual time off and not a and not just a smokescreen to usher him out.
Yeah,
it sounds like, actually, to use one quote I'm seeing here, Bill O'Reilly never returned. Doesn't sound like a guy going on vacation. It sounds like a guy who got whacked by the mob.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, he's on his way out. I think he's too moderate and what's the other guy's name? The other main guy. They don't like each other.
Hannity.
Hannity. Those two hate each other, and I can't stand Hannity.
Yeah, Hannity. If there is a mouthpiece for Donald Trump, it's Sean Hannity. Oh my gosh. There's
him and Crowder.
Him, Crowder, and I mean, as entertaining as Mark Dice is, I throw him in there too, only because there is nothing that Trump can do that they dislike. Like no matter any politician, there's after this much time in office, there's always going to be something you disagree with, and those guys are just in lockstep in support of everything this president is doing. And to me, that's a bit disingenuous. That it has to be. Right?
Yeah. I mean, nobody's perfect, and then the way, especially, I like Andrew Dice Clay. Mark Dice. Mark Dice is funny. He's consistent.
He's entertaining. He's consistent, but he's never said anything in the slightest bit critical of Donald Trump.
Absolutely,
not once. And and granted, I haven't watched his videos for years. I've probably been the last 6 months or so. I pretty much watched him daily. And but I watch him more for entertainment than for hard news, because he is entertaining in that 3 to 8 minutes or so for his video. Yeah.
But Mersh from R2C kind of went also overboard. Like, I mean, he's critical when he needs to be about Trump, but a lot of people are upset about this whole red flags thing. They're concerned about it. And this over enthusiasm about Israel. Like, I don't know if you've been reading, but Omar and Ilya,
I saw that. They got banned.
They got banned from Israel.
Which is
ridiculous.
Think
they really give a fuck?
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's like they've created a martyr in these two. It's like, what's Israel afraid of? They should have let them in. Let them in, and then let the spy app... Hell, catch them in the act and leave them in Israel. Throw them in an Israeli jail.
No, but this is like schoolyard bullying. Not even bullying, but it's like schoolyard playground bullshit.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell the teacher.
Yeah.
This
it's ridiculous.
enthusiasm about Israel is what's very frustrating about our politicians. Like, especially
breaking that pro-Israel lobby is so critical to really even get something objective. I'm not saying there isn't a place for an ally in that region, but is Israel, like, if the U.S. pulled back some of their funding, some of the billions of dollars they give in Israel I'm not sure if it's $500 million or if it's over $1 billion they give them every year. I mean, let's say, they said, we need to pull back a little bit on that, but you guys have lots of weapons. You guys have nuclear weapons. You guys have jets. You guys have planes. You can bomb and burn all your neighbors into the ground 10 times. Let's see what Israel says. Oh, no, you're losing your support. You need to support Israel. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, we've supported you. We have supported you. So we're going to take care of some things here at home. Are you still going to be our friend? No? Okay, then you're not an ally. You're using us. And that's what's happening. They're being used. And really being held hostage because, like, well, if you, Bibi Netanyahu, well, if you don't support us, we'll have to talk to Russia to get support, some nonsense like that, right? And they're just being used.
Let's get lift. Oh shit! I accidentally deleted Jerry. Hold on. How do I undo this?
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to give him a wrench. I'm trying to give Jerry a wrench.
Oh, well, you can probably. I think you're in a minute on my channel, so you can probably do that.
I am, but I can't. I don't. Fucking weird.
I'm not actually on the video page because I can monitor with my software. I can monitor what they see and monitor the chat and everything in real time. So I'm just using this software that I'm using.
Sorry, Jerry. I didn't mean to actually delete the.
Which comment did you delete?
All of Jerry's. I don't know why. I was trying to give him a wrench. It's a lot easier than before.
No, but which one of his comments did he delete?
Okay, no, it's showing. It's showing.
Okay. Boomers.
Sorry, Jerry. I'm just trying to give you a wrench, bud.
Yeah.
I'll do it later.
Why are we giving him a wrench? No, I have no problem with Jerry. I'm just curious as to. This is, on your channel you hand out wrenches like candy. On my channel,
I'm gonna
some decorum here.
If you watch Adonis Paul's Pleasure Palace, he just gives everybody a wrench.
Okay.
I'm kind of the same way.
Okay. Well, you can do that on your channel. Okay. On my channel, I like to lock things down. I'm a control freak.
You are.
All right. So, what else?
Yeah, I think that's it.
What are we going to talk about on? Actually, I guess we'll put our articles together Saturday. Are you coming over tomorrow for UFC?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I definitely am. AJ, you're invited to come over. Wow, am I getting? My volume levels are really high. Did you turn me up or something?
You sound fine to me. You
Wow.
sound fine to me. I can actually put my headphones on to monitor the full output of the both of us. Hang on, let me do that. I think the UFC starts at 10, but of course there'll be the main card starts at 10. There's prelims that probably start at 8. I don't watch those.
Hey, Verbal, how you doing, buddy? Hey, did you?
I've changed none of your sounds. I've changed none of your sounds since we started.
All right.
Yeah. If you made any adjustments, it's you. And I'm looking at the meter for system audio, which you're coming through, and it's fine. It's nothing at traditional high levels. For the folks in the chat, how do we sound? Do we sound clear? Is the audio good? Maybe just drop some comments in there. Let us know how it sounds to you. Make sure that we're coming across. What we should do actually, Fred, before we drop off, is maybe play a quick video or a not so quick video, so that to make sure that they can hear us. Okay.
I was going to show how Slavics dance in uniform. Ready? Like, remember that.
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, am I? Okay.
I know. I was asking, did you want to share something, or what are you sharing?
Yeah, I want to share my screen.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna. So you're still sharing your screen in Zoom, right?
Am I? Yeah, I am.
So Jerry, if there's somewhere where you can send us articles for topics on TCR. So, I put my email address in the comment section for my videos. It's not in this one because I didn't. But the ideal place, I know AJ has a Discord. So if you check one of his videos, I think he's put the link to his Discord in that. But otherwise, I'll put my email address in the comment section for this video. Not the comment, the what do you call it? The description, and you can.
I'm already
send
here.
something.
I'm in the Discord. I'll put a link up.
Okay.
AJ's Discord. You can put it in the
Canadian Roundtable Discord there in AJ's group. Yeah, there you go. So Fred just put a link in the Discord. I'll put it up on the screen, like people are going to look at that and know what it is. So anyways, look in the chat and you can find that elsewhere. Yeah. Verbal's got the right idea. That's basically how I watch things. 2 times speed.
Somebody in AJ's Discord said, my bra, Verbal opponent says, Prestani biti tako biela. I don't know
what does that
how
mean?
Navin Johnson.
We speak English on my channel.
So Navin Johnson said, "Hey, brother, to Verbal opponent, stop being so white." But like in the romantic languages, there's the genders, right? So, como te llamos ustedes, right? Which ustedes is conjugated as them. But then you have, yos, nosotros, vos, tú, and then they feminize certain words. I don't remember. I learned Spanish a long time ago. I used to be pretty fluent, but I haven't talked. But anyways, when you biel, yesi ti biel, are you white? And when I say it that way, it's a masculine. But when I say biela, means feminized. So he said, stop being such a white female. I think what it, to add a translation says, stop being such a white bitch. So, or you could say peachka, what everybody says, right? She's a bitch. But anyway, so am I sharing my screen?
Oh, sorry. Hang on. All right. Okay, 1 second. Not yet, but that's on me. Hang on. Give me a second.
Such a fucking boomer.
I tell you, man. I tell you. Okay, that's the wrong screen. Secondary display.
Make coffee.
And there you go. Now you're sharing your screen. Did you put on the audio option? You turn on your audio?
Yeah, my
you share your
audio's
screen?
on. Do you hear the music in the background?
Faintly.
Okay, that's good. Because I wanted that faint, but just give me a few seconds because I was waiting for you and I was like, I was going to start my coffee.
Really? Look, I always have videos ready, man. I can play stuff at any second.
No. Give me a sec. Oh. Because, I was wondering when you were going to allow me to share a video.
Yeah, well, you're sharing your screen, so go ahead.
Hold on. I got my Nespresso. Hold on. I'll tell you.
What?
Okay. So you remember that video we shared on TCR about the Canadian Army and the Durka Durka dance?
Oh my gosh, yes, that Sikh dance, yeah.
All right. Well, us Slavs are going to show you how to do it. Ready? Here we go.
Folks in the chat, just let us know if you can hear the video, okay? We're just testing the audio as well.
No gay Durka Durka dancing.
I kind of wish my camera is on so you guys could see me grooving to this these hard,
That's a little gay.
rock hard beats. I think this is actually extremely gay, Fred. Just it's so masculine. It's like it's gone the other way.
Durka. The way this guy's holding his pistol, I swear to God, he's going to shoot someone in the knee.
Dude, this is no better than the other video. This is no better than the other video.
Yeah, it is, man.
At least they're smart enough to cover their faces. Oh, jeez. With those moves, yeah, I'd cover my face too. Jeez, that's terrible. Oh, he's got the Slavish.
The squatting.
The squatting Slav going there. Jerry's got a nice comment here. I hear it fine. Russians party boying each other. Basically.
Oh fuck! I don't know. You got anything?
That's funny. That's funny. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna play a video on my end too, just to make sure things are working, and on my end because that's sometimes where the problem has been. Let me find it here. Just when I was giving you a hard time about not having videos ready, I don't have this video ready. Oh no, it's ready. That was a lie. Hang on. Copy text. Come back over here. Okay. The fireplace is an illusion, folks. Sorry to ruin your impression. All right, here we go. Can you hear the ad?
Yeah, I think I need to stop sharing.
Oh yeah, well you need.
Well, I did. I put faith in it.
You need to stop sharing,
and
but
then
they can
the
see
program
what's on my
itself,
screen.
and weight started, coming off.
My goal was to lose 10%.
There we go.
Some of them spend their money on the other side before crossing over because they know when they cross
Did everybody
over,
hear this okay?
end up with a check in their hands.
I can hear it. Thank you.
Key and Bexley here at the intersection of Roxham Road and the international border separating Canada and the United States. Now, right behind me is the area where people, non-Americans, non-Canadians, cross this border illegally, of course, in hopes that Canada will grant them refugee status, something that the Americans wouldn't do for whatever
They're
reason.
so
Now,
well
this story
dressed.
broke
They have like
several years
Newest
ago.
luggage.
It was a big problem for Trudeau after he tweeted, "Everybody is welcome in Canada," kind of to spite Donald Trump. And of course, that has led to a very, very big problem, and a problem that is growing.
We don't have to talk
In
about this
2018,
now,
there
but
were
I
more
wanted
refugees,
to bring this up for a
quote-unquote
Sunday show.
refugees, people who wanted to seek refugee status illegally
But you
crossing
notice
this
how
border
these
than
people,
ever before.
they look
It is a huge, unmitigated
fine.
disaster. You can see here the footage that I just took in the first 30
Hey, wow,
minutes of
at
me
it.
showing
Hey,
up here.
how
The
you doing?
RCMP helping these two illegals put their bags into a van for them to be transported deeper into Canada. It seems that they have asked me more questions personally than they've been asking these quote-unquote refugees. Now, there's actually an individual here from Nova Scotia who just walked down the road and wanted to check things out because he said he saw it in the news a while ago. He was in the area. So here's what he had to say. What do you make of this situation that we see on the border right now?
I guess it's like a not an official crossing point.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I don't know. It's just I heard the people are trying to cross because they think that maybe they think they're not going to have status in the U.S., so they want to try their chances in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you think that Justin Trudeau has been strong enough in telling people like this that people in these situations that they're not welcome here and that what they're doing actually is illegal?
I think after that initial tweet, I think he's been rather silent on it.
The one where he said everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
Are you disappointed with that? Are you happy?
I think financially, I don't think it's good for Canada to take in people that aren't financially sustainable, but I don't know enough. I don't know enough about it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was surprised to hear that these illegals are not really poor. They actually take a plane to get to a local airport near the border and then take a taxi here. They spend all their money before they get here because in anticipation of a, quote, big check. A big check. That is what the driver who picks up the illegals here and takes them deeper into Canada to a different RCMP facility told me. Take a listen to this conversation I had with him. Does this take the people that come across the border to...
This reporter actually looked at Jerry's comment here. Did
how
often do they chase a Liberal MP in a scooter?
There's different kinds of hours that they...
Yeah.
Journalism at its finest.
It's hard to say when they come in. It depends on the time planes come in, you know.
Planes? What do you mean planes?
Because they come in at Plattsburgh at the airport.
They fly to the closest airport to then...
That's Plattsburgh is the closest airport to the border, so...
Wow.
And they get off there and they take the cab over.
And then they come over to Toronto.
Or via Quebec, once Quebec gets a check from them.
Yeah, that's right.
Here.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that they had the money to buy a plane ticket.
You'd be surprised. Some of them
typical knowing
spend their money on the other side before crossing over because they know when they cross over they're going to end up with a...
So this guy is fired in 3, 2, 1. Like, how many guys who sound and look like this? The face masking is not enough. Like, this guy's fired already. Out there having a smoke. Like, come on. Like,
Casually.
sounding this way, that body language, like he's done. And he's from commissionaires. He's from a third party contractor. He's like a security guard basically. Security guard with a badge. So yeah, he's fired in 3, 2, 1. Yep. Or reassigned.
Check in their hands, you know.
Did you see
Now this problem is going to get worse and worse.
Get attacked by Yaniv?
Justin Trudeau has no interest
in
being strong on border control because it
I
makes
was
him look
planning
weak
to cue that up on
being a lefty.
Sunday too.
Of course, you can't call out people breaking the law and crossing the border illegally without looking a little bit like Donald Trump, and that just doesn't jive.
How many
with
shots
Justin
did
Trudeau's
he take
base.
from that?
It's a problem for him, and it's going to be a weak spot going into this next election. And if anyone wants to see any change,
like 1 or 2,
they're going to have to start asking Justin Trudeau.
He had a
to
concussion shit.
And
how many
stop what's
shots
going on
did?
here. For the Rebel.media, I'm Kian Beck.
It's a solid 8 shots. A solid 8 shots. I mean, just I watched it once, but kind of going from memory, I'm thinking it was a solid 8 or 9 shots. Oh, there we go. There's our girl.
Oh, you share something? I can't see it because you've blocked me.
No, you know what? I didn't share the window in Zoom, but I should have. I just they can see it on YouTube, but you can't see it in Zoom. So that's
I'm
on me.
watching the show, but
Yeah.
yeah, he was taking the shots, and it was like, and
Took
the
him like a
police.
man.
Oh, I don't think. Well, Yaniv is muscle weighs more than fat, but I mean,
No, but it's a leverage thing. It's like you get some momentum behind those strikes, and there you go. That's how that works. So, yeah.
All right, dude. You have to get up early tomorrow morning and do your good deeds at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And
I do.
I have to go and work out and become a beast.
Yep. Beast. Well, everybody, thank you very much for joining our Friday night fireside chat. Just something we were trying out. We might do some more of these in time. I seems that things are working coming from my computer and on my channel, which is good because I plan to do exactly the same thing on Sunday night for TCR. So hopefully that works then too. So thank you for being a part of this test slash,
the time.
Yeah, so the time will be Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be on my channel, the same channel. So if you're not already subscribed, please do click the bell. The event is actually already up on the channel, so you can probably bookmark that or whatnot and be ready for that to pop up on your screen at 8:30 sharp. I'll see if I can maybe have some fun videos to watch, maybe a few minutes before the actual show starts, or people to put a smile on your faces beforehand. It won't be like cats or anything. It'll be silly things that are related to all the shenanigans we like on this show. But anyways, yeah. So Fred, is there anything else you wanted to add today?
Well, just to give you a heads up what I'm doing. So I've been running a lot of checks on my machine.
Yeah.
It's a relative of mine call it the Ferrari of computers, but
yeah, because it's in the shop all the time. Zing!
Well, wink! You got me there. But it seems to be a Windows issue. It just keeps rebooting itself or just shutting down. And there's something in the Windows 10 that's causing it. So I'm just trying to I'm planning to take it to the shop tomorrow because I can run my own tests on it, and I have, but I don't have all of the applications that the store. So I have to, clear some files. I have, some of the porn pictures and shit like that. I'm kidding. Hey Faye, you joined a little late. Jeez, come on.
That's okay. But honestly, we didn't promote anything. This is just us having a chat, kind of testing things out before the stream on Sunday. So I'll leave it on my channel. Maybe we'll have some more fireside chats late in the evening. Maybe we'll promote it next time. I don't know. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Fred. Tell us about your computer.
I think these quick fire chats are great because it just shows people in the chat that we're just human like everybody else. But yeah, I have to take it in tomorrow, and hopefully I can get it back because I'm giving them a full day of diagnostics, and I guarantee you, either within 20 minutes or 4 hours, the thing's going to shut down. So
good. Well, if they're going to be monitoring it using their tools and monitoring the logs and whatnot, then they should be able to figure out what's going on. Yeah. You know what actually solved the problems that I was having with this new software and setup I'm using? I was way overthinking it because I was thinking that this was operating like OBS with all the kinds of configurations and stuff, forgetting this is a Mac application. So I just started it and didn't change anything, and it's worked. Simple. That's just the way we're supposed to do. I can play around with stuff, but I didn't have to. I didn't have to in this case. It just happened to work. Verbal armament. What's going on? Your friend here just got out of a car with a guy he was sure was impersonating an Uber driver. Impersonating an Uber driver? He wasn't like the guy. Because when you get an Uber, you actually see the photo of the driver in the app. so you can actually see that and see if it's the same guy. It's not like a taxi where you have that thing posted on the back of the picture. I mean, I'm speaking as a former Uber driver myself, but yeah, you need to take a picture.
You were an Uber driver.
I was, and frankly, the money was the extra money. Not I in the Toronto area, you know, with supporting a family of 4, I don't think that would work. But at least in terms of extra money, when I had time, it was great for some extra pocket cash. I would just I kind of run off it myself. But anyways, yeah, when the driver wouldn't give a name. Well, the thing that I like about Uber verbal armament is that, frankly, I mean, the audit trail is nice there, right? And they take complaints very seriously from riders as well as drivers. So there was times when I was a driver, and let's say sometimes the app would crash, which is super annoying because but they can still track you even when the app has crashed, which isn't the greatest thing in the world, but it's something that's still possible. So let's say I'm taking a route that is different than what's in the app, and or if somebody's taking me on like a bit of a journey, I can go and say to Uber in the app, hey, you know, this guy, and these are all legitimate times or whatnot, or let's say there's a group of 4 people who get into the car, not just one person. They say, okay, one person put their address in, but the rest of them will just tell me where they're going to go, and then I would drive them there. The nice thing is the app still tracks all of that GPS stuff. So, I mean, if that isn't the driver who is supposed to be driving that car, I would ask you report it to Uber to get them to investigate. And if that's not the right guy who is driving that car, that guy will be kicked off of Uber so fast. And everything is tied to Jerry in the chat here. Everything is tied to like driver's licenses, insurance, ownership papers. So if somebody is banned, there's a heck of a lot they need to do to get unbanned, and everybody gets background checked, criminal and otherwise. So if they get banned, they're banned because like the unless they're going to drive under somebody else's car again. So and then the person who's actually, yeah. So there you go. So I mean, even that comment, Jared, verbal where the driver lied to him and said that he was a driver for 4 months and the profile said 1. Oh yeah, that is a problem. I was just about to contradict that, but no, that is a problem. Yeah, I would report it. I'd say that you think that somebody was impersonating the actual driver.
Was
and
he Indian?
And you can do it. You can do that through the app. It's very, very easy to do through the app. You just go back to the history for the rides, and you can. There's a spot there where you can report any issues. So, and give them a 1 star. Because if a driver has less than 4.2, there's a very 4.2 out of 5 as their average. They get on notice that they're going to get kicked off of Uber unless they get their average up. So, that's a pretty high standard. So, there you go. That's my inside Uber chat for you guys. Send all your Uber questions to good old Chris Gunderson at gmail.com. Anyways.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks, everybody, for your time tonight. We'll see you all again Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. The channel is ready to go. The link is already ready to go. My software sees it, so I plan to use that exact same link on Sunday night to start the show. Our conference solution is working, so AJ and Fred will be on the show at that new earlier time for the Sunday show. And yeah,
catch the fight with the Croatian beating the shit out of Cormier.
Yes, we will have a review where my boy DC takes out Stipe. How do you pronounce his last name?
Stipe.
Loser. Got it. He's going down. Thanks, everybody, for your time, and we'll catch you on Sunday night, all right? 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you live. Take care. Bye.
Here. Bye.